you guys, it's Soshi and this is going to be the weekly reading, but with a new format because I'm in a mood for reading today because, finally a few days off after a week-long holiday, so I'm well rested enough to be inspired to read. So what I was thinking is that I'm gonna just do general, like whatever comes up on the topic that I chose, which is gonna be support. That's gonna be the first one, and then I'm gonna use the questions oracle to pull a question that we need. Maybe we need to like spend some time with, like a big or small, however it comes up. And then at the end, some love reading because, okay, it doesn't have to be romantic love. It's just that connections, relationships, we need help as human beings all the time with relationship type of readings as well. So I will try to remember to timestamp each section. But if I forget, then this is the general order. So if you want to skip around, you can hopefully find everything and see where I changed the deck, and that will help you. So the first one is gonna be about support. And for this topic, this week I'm using the Deviant Moon tarot, which some people are freaked out by, but it's one of my absolute favorite deck. It has a wonderful imagery, and I also decided to read reversals today because why not? I usually don't read reversals because I read positions, but today I wanted to. So I chose support because I received support, different kind, unexpected and expected, yeah. Because one came from someone that I just getting to know, and I wasn't sure if the support I needed would come my way, but they stepped up in such a nice way that it was a lovely experience. And the other one was where I got support from one of my sisters who was, I know that I can get that support, but still, I want to appreciate that. But I was thinking that maybe pulling some card on where to look for support or what support means to us, whatever comes up, that we could implement this week. So maybe we will need support, maybe we can offer support for other people, because life should be a little bit of a Six of Pentacles if you think about it. And if you don't know what Six of Pentacles is for, is the give and take of life, but not in a transactional way, but in a I offer you something because I can, and you offer me something because you can, and hopefully we are both able to accept it. Help, resources, time. Okay, how many cards should we get? Let's see. And I have so many decks that are bigger than my hand. I always think to get the let's go with 3 bordered edition, because I have the borderless deck, and they cut off the borders and make things like borderless but in a smaller size. Okie dokie. So, and we have a reversal. We have the, what are we, 7 of Wands. Okay, interesting. I had that card yesterday. The 7 of Wands, yes, reversal. So this is the image. Maybe if I put it here, it will actually focus. It's a lovely imagery. I love the colors. We have also the Knight of Pentacles. I will learn to, put it where I should. And another 7, the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so 7 of Wands in the reverse, and it's about support. So I would say that what we need to focus on is not to be too defensive, because if you're too defensive, you cannot accept support. But with the Knight of Pentacles, that's also, I think, and the 7 of Pentacles as well, which is about patience. I think it's about being patient with ourselves, to learn how to do that, to learn how to accept help. Because the Knight of Pentacles is a knight who, in the original deck, is depicted as a guy who's leading the horse by the, don't know the English word for it, but by the reins, I think. So not on a horse, not displaying speed. It's a slow moving but very reliably moving knight. So yeah, I think that's just very clear that what we have to as a collective, or just you if you're watching, have to work on more this week, or you have an opportunity to work on, because obviously nothing is forced. You do whatever you want to do, but allow yourself to let other people help you and support you. Maybe just if accepting help in big things is too much for you because you're not used to it, you're still at the mindset that you have to do everything by yourself, which obviously, my opinion, isn't true, because we are social creatures. Just at least allow people to do small bits of something that you can see that they are giving you because they want to, not because they think they're gonna get anything in return. So I also would urge you to be mindful, but there's a lot of pentacles here, to not turn these interactions or these attempts to allow people in your life a little bit more as transactional. So if you see someone is, trying to get something out of you, that's not real help. That's not really the Six of Pentacles. So don't deal with that. But if you see someone that they care about you and you care about them, and maybe it's just about something that you can perfectly finally do on your own, like, I don't know, assemble a new desk or whatever, that you think that this is nothing, I do that all the time, it's my job, or it's my hobby, or it's something that I'm just very good at because I did it for other people a lot of the time. But there comes this person who wants to help you with it, and normally you would just be like, no, I can do this on my own, no need to help. And you don't mean anything bad by it necessarily, so I don't feel like you should be overly critical about yourself when it comes to accepting this type of help. But maybe for once this week you can just say that, okay, cool, you can just help me maybe read the instructions or something, so you don't have to give out all the control from your hand. If you're like what the cards suggest, like someone who is still maybe struggling with this concept, because if you are not, then you're not watching this reading for the message. So start small but be consistent with it and see where it goes, because the Seven of Pentacles is okay, maybe not necessarily visible in this image because there's blood drawn from the tree, but it's about patience. It's about allowing certain things to happen without really knowing where it's gonna end up. So you don't know what, if you let other people do small acts of kindness for you, you don't know where that's gonna lead, if it's gonna change you or if it's gonna change them. But you shouldn't even focus on that. You should focus on just making progress slowly. Yeah, I think that's all, because I could talk more about why. But yeah, I think it's a good message. I know I went through, it took me time to accept help when I really needed it, but I was forced to, and in a way I'm grateful that my circumstances forced me to accept help when I was really vulnerable, because otherwise I don't know how else I would have learned that accepting help from others and support from others doesn't make you weaker, doesn't make you anything less. Because I think it's with the we should be everything and like leaders and whatever, the bullshit that's coming from social media, the message can be very lost that we are still just human beings and we need help, we need support, we're social creatures, like I said. So it's not a bad thing to sometimes admit that you need that support, even if it's just a few kind words. It will make you feel very vulnerable at the beginning because you're putting yourself out there, that you're expressing something you're lacking in that moment and you need help with it. But after a while, I think it helps for you as well to give that support to others if you know how much it takes to accept it, if this makes any sense. But okay, this is the end. So if you didn't want to watch the rest, then thank you so much for being here and see you in the next one. Okay, so the next segment of this video, because we have segments, is I'm gonna pull a card from the questions oracle, which is mine, obviously. If you haven't heard of it, that's because. And I designed this deck to deal with big questions. Currently it has 20 cards, but I'm thinking about upgrading it to 40 because more cards needed maybe, but we'll see, because I don't want to force cards into the deck if they are not really belonging there. So let's pull a question. What should we focus on or think more about next week? And I love round decks, actually. You don't get reversals, so speak, but this deck doesn't work with reversals anyway. And that was one. Oh, okay. It's loss. 29, loss. And we have change at the bottom. Okay, so loss. Let's see what we will get from the tarot. And for that, I'm gonna be using the Radiant Wise, because I've kind of felt like I need some classic deck for this question this week. We'll see what's gonna happen next week. Okay, so let's get some clarification about loss, because loss is a big topic. It can be anything. It can not just be loss about a relationship, a person, a job. It can be everything that's going on in the world. Loss about rights, your identity, your safety, the sense of safety, sense of security. Interesting that tarot doesn't really want to talk about it. Come on, give us an explanation. Thank you. I need some more though. Let's get, I have 2, but I kind of want more, like 2 more maybe. Okay, let's go with these 4. Okay, so we have a 9 of Cups in the reverse, the Hangman in the reverse, which is kind of good, the Tower in the reverse, and the Knight of Wands. So, like I said, the question we should think about, just by basic, what loss means to you when it comes. When you hear the word loss, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? That's usually what the reading is going to be about for you. And if nothing, then you can start thinking about the concept of loss. Where is it showing up in your life? If it does regularly, was there a loss in your life so far that still has a lasting effect? Because that's what I'm kind of feeling from the cards, because we have the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. No, not Pentacles, sorry, the Cups, which is like, it's a wish fulfillment, it's being happy. So whatever this loss is, if it's a specific thing, and if not, then just the concept is how, I think what we need to question ourselves about or think about is how loss in general, or a certain loss, is keeping us from being happy, like completely. But I think there's also change is coming, because the next one is the Hangman, but in the reverse, and the Hangman in the reverse becomes the Word card, because what the Hangman represents is when you need to change your point of view on something. So in order for you to actually, I'm not saying let go of the loss or get over it, because Jesus, no. I'm just saying that sometimes even acknowledging that you're still experiencing the effect that's coming from whatever the loss is all about can change things. Like admitting that to yourself that this was too much of a too much of it had too much of importance for me, that I know that I will never get over it. This is not going to be something that time will heal. It's going to be something that's constantly be part of my life, and I accept that. And if you accept that that loss is part of your life from now on, you can start moving forward, still carrying that part with you, but integrating it in a way that it will become your whole part of your what you are, and it won't keep you stuck in a place where you're like really fighting to move forward and let it go and just get over it, because that's what society usually tells people who feel or experience loss, because after a while you're just expected to get over it. And obviously I don't know what we're talking about for each and every one of you who will watch this, so there might be a case where you actually have to work on moving past it, because that's what serves you the most, but right now I'm kind of feeling that if you can change the view of how you view the point of view about how you look at the situation regarding that loss, then you will be able to actually avoid a tower moment, because tower is about the foundation. You can see how stable it is. It's not stable at all. The foundation, being too fragile or shaky, and you're ignoring it and you try to build on it, ignoring everything that you feel, thinking that if you just push it down, if you build on it, if you just create this whole new life identity, sets of feelings on top of it, then whatever is in the mid in the bottom is gonna just disappear, right? No, it's not. It's gonna just, after a while, gonna just like shake you off. And life is going to be like, nope, you need to deal with it. Please deal with it. You need to clear the wound out in order to be able to move forward. And that's why I like the Knight of Wands and the End as well, because the Knight of Wands is someone who's finally, after in this reading, finally is moving forward with passion, with creativity, with energy, and with help. Because wands are also represented, at least how I read them, help. So, and of course, the Knight of Wands is not someone who is gonna know the perfect answer immediately. It's not gonna be like, okay, I know how to deal with this. I'm just gonna look at this differently and everything's gonna be fine. No, Knight of Wands has some fire. He's running around in the forest, sometimes lights the forest or parts of the forest on fire by accident, because he's like, okay, where am I supposed to go? Like, what is it? I don't know. And then, all trees are on fire. So just give yourself some grace. You're gonna do whatever you can. And you're gonna make mistakes, maybe experience setbacks for a while, but know that if you manage to change your point of view about the loss you experienced, you will be able to move forward and ultimately be able to reverse the Nine of Cups and find happiness, whatever happiness means to you. It doesn't have to be loud and outwardly. It can just be peaceful calmness. Sometimes happiness is just peace. So yeah, this would be the question for this week that we can think about, hopefully deal with, move forward. Do let me know if this resonates, if you like this format, because I'm kind of liking it, but the whole point is to reading it for you guys. So yeah, this was the second segment, and if you're not interested in the relationship part, then thank you so much for watching this one, and see you in the next one. Okay, so and for the final and third one, this is going to be the relationship segment. Doesn't have to be romantic. Usually it is, because generally people think about romantic relationships when it comes to tarot readings. So, you know, the collective readings are reflecting that, but it can also be substituted for just friendships, familiar relationships. And we have a friendship card. So it's not romantic in a sense that not just about, but you know, good romantic relationships are based on friendship. I do feel that is still true. And for this one, I'm using the Sweet Twilight Tarot, which is not a typical deck for relationship readings, but I was kind of feeling like this is exactly what we need, because the artwork for a card, at least for me, can really change the reading, because if the card is depicted in a different way than the usual meaning, then there's an extra message there. So let's get some advice on this friendship. What is it, friendship? What do we need to know about friendship this week? Let's go with at least 3, because 3s are good in cards. Okay, let's go with 4. 4 is a stable number and we like that. And yeah, I always said that there's 4 windows, but not 4, but okay. And yeah, this is the building relationship deck, which deals with relationships, but just with building. So it's good for any kind of people, even those that some other idiots are not recognizing as people. Okay, should we do the reverse as well? Yes, let's go with that. Okay. Okay, we have the Queen of Swords in the reverse. This is the Queen. And this is how I look at it in reverse. I mean, if it helps, but you can see some stubbornness on her as she's being burned like a witch. Very interesting, Queen of Swords. Because, you know, wands would invoke fire in me. But at the same time, the Queen of Swords is a very fair queen when it's in the upright. It can be a little judgy when in the reverse. And it's kind of feel like that your, whatever this friendship is, that we need to, you know, deal with or think about a bit more, you're kind of in a bit of a stubborn, you have a little bit of stubbornness about it. I kind of feel like you're not allowing yourself to look at this situation fairly for some reason. The next one is the 5 of Cups, but also in the reverse. This is the artwork. So you can see, but we get it in the reverse. Okay, 5 of Cups in the reverse is good, because 5 of Cups is lost, but being interestingly, you know, tying back to the previous one, being lost in loss, being too much, not being spending too much time with something where you just not moving forward is not good, doing you any good. So, but because, you know, this is in the reverse, it kind of shows that you're finally are gonna be able to move past this loss and start moving forward if you stop being so stubborn about something. We also have the Knight of Swords, which is interesting, another sword. I kind of like this whole swords cups thing going on, because it really shows how we deal with relationships, because we have this, should I listen to my mind, my intellect, my logic, or should I listen to my heart, because those can be very conflicting, and this one is upright, so, and you know, 2 people, so not just one. Okay, what do I see? Okay, Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is someone who's you know, who believes they have a right, just cause, and they fight for it. But it also, indicates that they are following someone, because they are the knights. They have the king or a queen who needs to lead their way. And especially with the imagery, I kind of feel like if you're able to surround whatever the thing is you're still so stubborn about, because this queen is like, nope, I'm not gonna admit that I made a mistake. I'm not gonna admit that I might judge the situation correctly. But if you let go of, whatever, it can be a loss of pride that yeah, I think pride is very much a key factor in here. But if you let that go, if you're allowed to just admit that, okay, I might haven't acted like a grown-up should, and you surrender to that other person, but not in a way that you give up you or your conviction and yourself and your values, nothing like that. It's just that, yes, we are, there's two people in this friendship or more. And could be romantic, because, like I said, romantic relationships are based on friendship, in my opinion. But it could be, I feel more so family relationship type of things as well. I don't necessarily feel the love, so to speak, from this reading, especially because I just said it in the beginning. It is possibly gonna be about it, so of course it's not. But, admit that you want this friendship, that you want this relationship. The question is, which one is more important, to be right or to be a friend with this person? And if the answer is to stay a friend with this person, then maybe you have to let go of being right, because, like I said, which one is more important? And interestingly, we have the word at the end, but it's in the reverse, like this. And why I'm saying it's interesting, because an upright word would mean a beautiful ending, like, oh, we just managed to do everything. But it's also, because it's reverse, it means that even if you do this, it's still just gonna be the first step, because you're not quite at the word yet. Because I love how cards, play with the previous readings. The upside down word is kind of like the hangman. So you still need to require to change your point of view, to finish this cycle, to find your place in this relationship. Because if you do this, and I think this is the first step into the right direction, to maybe just admit that you want this relationship to go. But the bigger issue is, the more important thing is that if you don't deal with the bigger issue, the main cause why you actually felt like so stubborn of not just, I don't know what the stubbornness is all about, but why you felt so right and why the conflict appeared. If you don't deal with the cause, the root cause of that one, you're not going to be able to find a stable path, not longer path, what do I want to say? So longevity, words, with the solution, because it's going to be just one step, and then you can fall back into your own patterns, your old patterns, and then you're just going to repeat the cycle, not finish it. So in order to change the word, to be it, upside, you need to figure out what do you need to change without giving yourself, your values up, so that you can be a better partner in this friendship. Obviously, if you want to stay in this relationship, you don't have to, that's your choice. But if you don't want to, then you have to cut ties as well. So you know what you do, it's always your choice. It's not mine. I'm just trying to give you advice, hopefully something useful. But yeah, this is all, and I'm almost managed to do 10 minutes on each topic, so I think that's a good time for me because I can talk. But yeah, this, I hope this was useful, and please do let me know if you like this three like segment format, because I think this would allow me to read more, and I really enjoy it. And if you want to add the segment, please do let me know, because I'm open to reading more. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and see you in the next one. Bye.